We're at the oldest continually operating stadium in the NFL as you get a look inside Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. The first game's out of the way. Time to buckle down for the long season ahead, and we're off in week 2. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Give to Taylor. A very good move, but for a relatively modest gain out near the 32. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. Caught on the right side by Adams. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Rodgers finding Adams for a Packer first. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They go play action here on 1st down. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That one goes for 24 yards. So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Now Rodgers. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. That one goes for 36 yards. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Rodgers to throw once more. Got a man open. It's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. Davante Adams, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Packers take it right down the field and score on the opening drive. Oh, this is blocked. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 27. Now the first carry for Ty Montgomery. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
There you go, you see it, you see it?
On second down, here's Trubisky. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And it's a tremendous return as they finally get him at about the 10-yard line. They're trying to resurrect his confidence. Last week was a disaster. 5 interceptions in that loss, and another pick there.
Take him. I'll fix him. The very next game, he started out the exact same way. And the head coach turned to the offense coordinator and said, he's yours from now on. Someone has to take responsibility and work with him and try and get him settled.
Here's Rodgers to throw. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to set up a 3rd and goal.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
Rodgers now on 3rd and goal. Oh, it's a touchdown if he holds on. Instead, it's 4th down.
The way the game's played now, you almost can take position affiliations off of guys. He may have been a running back, but they count on him to be a receiver and catch that football.
But he could not catch it. A big drop on 3rd down. They took it all the way to the 1, but in the end, opt for 3.
Just doesn't sound right, does it? If you got all the way down to the 1-yard line, isn't that supposed to be a play in the end zone that culminates in a touchdown for your team?
And per usual, it felt like the guys on the sideline wanted to go ahead and go for it.
Of course they did, but of course head coach, it defers back to him, and he made the decision, let's get 3 out of this, make sure we get some points. Partner, when I was in college, we used to have these things called game maxims that we did before every game. One of them said, press the kicking game, for here's where the breaks are made. It's the area of hidden yardage. How about that return? Flipping the field, taking it past the 50, and getting things set up to start the series.
Throw left side, taken in by Miller. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. A gain of 6 there on 1st. Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1.
We're go. Hey, got 3.
On 2nd down, Montgomery. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. The former Gamecock here. This is Mike Davis. And he'll get down to about the 26-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Let's go. We're on the ball after this.
A give. This is Montgomery. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed, as that's going to move the chains. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
First down, they run again. Here's Montgomery. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Now they'll throw it with Trubisky. And this is caught at the 8. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. A Chicago first down. The former Jag, Allen Robinson, on the catch from Trubisky. They'll run with Montgomery. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up second and goal.
On that play, it was the defensive front that won the battle. They out-leveraged the offensive line, got into the backfield, and held them to no gain.
They'll try again here from the 7 on second and goal. He'll get it up the middle. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and that is going to set up third and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on third, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that second down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
Here is Montgomery on third and goal. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Bears. A great play there. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Bears draw a bit closer. Able to punch it in on third down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a fourth down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating, will we have to make the call? They already had it lined up. Never even got to it.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
that.
Super toe.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got some space here. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Well, plenty of credit has to go to the guy carrying the ball. He broke the tackle and gained the yardage. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the defender is bad. They're not going to make 100% of the tackles all the time. Even the best in the game will miss one occasionally. The key is not to let it snowball and miss tackle after tackle. On that play, credit to the offense, but that doesn't make the defense bad.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Box it, box it, box it, box it. Get 300, get 300.
On the handoff, this is Taylor. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Get reset. Hey, easy.
Now they'll throw with Rodgers. And that's complete to Adams. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
That's fine. Yeah.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 10 more there and another first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Into the red zone, it's Rodgers. A dump underneath to Jones. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Nothing on that one. It'll be second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Now Rodgers throwing on second down. It's caught here by Adams. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Now they'll try to convert on 3rd and 6 after the 4-yard completion. Working from the gun, Rodgers. He dumps it underneath for Taylor. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. A gain of 4 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. And his kick here is good. And that will push the lead up to 12-7. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that.
You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
To Montgomery to begin the drive. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. They go play action. Trubisky over the middle, complete. It's Burton, and he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A very solid gain of 27. So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 46. Handoff comes to Montgomery. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. There for the tackle, the former Wisconsin Badger, Leon Jacobs.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. And now a timeout coming from the defensive side for the Packers. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
Let's go.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the shotgun is Trubisky. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 29. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
And that's now the second time he's picked off a pass here in the first half alone. Again, another great read defensively, and you just see him get in the right position to make the play and get his guys the football back.
Taylor And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
26.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
That's fine. Yeah. Zoom.
2 minutes to go here in the first half. We're back to Lambeau following these words. From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And 2 interceptions already here in this first half. That's got to affect him a little bit, right? He's got to be thinking about it.
He's got to be thinking about it, but most of the good ones, they find a way to put it aside. They're not happy about it by any stretch of the imagination. They find a way to put it aside and continue to play their game.
Can he put it aside? Let's find out. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to get it across the 10 to the 15. Trying to escape the shadow of their goalpost. That helped. 10 yards. First down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Adrian Amos up to make the tackle.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The screen pass here to Cohen. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. The last completion actually lost a yard, so now they'll need to convert on 3rd down.
Go.
Throwing here, Trubisky. Throw left side, complete. It's Burton. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Fielded at about the 28. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. So good field position for the Packers as they come up 1st and 10. On play action. Now Rodgers. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Khalil Mack in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. A final shot before half for Rodgers. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. Now a play fake here on first down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Burton. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. First down, here's the run to Montgomery. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. Trubisky will throw. Caught out left side by Robinson. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A good pick up there of 20 yards. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Montgomery. So he got free at 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Let's go. Ran, top.
Now Trubisky to throw on 2nd. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off at the 23. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. Wow, between last week and this week, that's now 8 interceptions. 5 a week ago, now 3 here.
Well, he is so lucky that one of the defense coordinators I played for, a man named Ken Donahue, is not there right now. Because he saw that happen during his coaching career, and he grabbed a quarterback in the midst of a streak like this and said, tell you what, son, why don't you throw it to the defensive guys, and let's see if our receivers can intercept it.
He's got to figure something out because the current formula is not working. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A big hitter there, a 1st down gain of 26 yards.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And his throw is incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily, fell incomplete. Rodgers will try again on 2nd down. The left side throw complete to Adams. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. He had their lone TD earlier. Now he's got a 1st down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or
better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Rodgers again here on 2nd and 10. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And they get to him quickly here as he's stopped right around the 13. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. And his kick is good. And that now makes this a 15-7 game. So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
Now the Bears offense ready to take over again. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4's kind of, oh, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. 1st down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. The 1st down carry for Davis. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. The Bears on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Out of the gun, Trubisky. And this one is incomplete.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. He's going to field this at the 4. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Certainly looked like maybe his third or his fourth read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10.
Zoom.
Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Rodgers. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. It'll be a gain of 8 yards. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Here's J.K. Scott now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is taken around the 12. Oh, twisting away. Give him 11 yards that time on the return, and the Bears take over. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
And throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check. Now Trubisky lost the football. And this is going to be Packer football.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around. We just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Touchdown, Packers! Marquez Valdez-Scantling, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And his guys capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. This time, the extra point up and good. And the lead is up to 15 now. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
You know, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. They begin with a run by Davis. And he'll push forward for about 4 up to the 23. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
Let's go. We're on the ball after this.
On second down, Trubisky hits his target. It's Taylor Gabriel. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Trubisky to Gabriel there for a Bears first down. Back now at Lambeau. It's Bears football, but they trail on the scoreboard as we get set to bring you the fourth quarter. Trubisky now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Trubisky. And his throw here is incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. They pitch it out to Montgomery. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. Right back to him on first down. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Here's Trubisky. Packer pressure, and down he goes. Mike Daniels in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Let's see what they draw up here. 3rd and long following the sack of Trubisky. Now it's Trubisky. He's going to let this one go deep. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And this is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Packers are going to get the football back in excellent field position. Now trotting out there, the Packers getting ready to go. But they can thank their defense for another stop. And now look at the score, where they've got the football. They're looking pretty good.
They're looking excellent because now you're thinking to yourself, let's just take some time off the clock. Work it down, and of course, you put another touchdown on the board, you can pretty much say bye-bye to this one.
Play calling here can be a little bit more conservative because of the lead?
A little bit more conservative. The biggest thing, everyone understands how to get the ball downfield and how to stay in bounds and make sure the clock keeps running.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And incomplete here on 3rd down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. On the ground, it's Montgomery, and he stopped immediately there. They'll say no gain on the play, so it was looking good, but nothing there, and now it's 3rd down and inches. The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 5 to this point. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. And this defense continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Looking to throw, Trubisky on 1st down. He's got the hook up to Miller. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
On 1st down, Trubisky finds a seam inside the 40. It's complete to Robinson. And finally brought down at the 38. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a 1st down again.
One of the selling points of the in route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver and almost on a direct shot able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
On 1st and 10, it's Trubisky. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Now a run with Montgomery, and he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
The Bears on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Now Trubisky to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And it is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Packers D comes up with a big stop. Well, that's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th. And we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
No gain on the play as we have reached the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. Rodgers to throw on second down. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can...
Complete. Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Davis. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Now Trubisky on 3rd and long. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a 4th pick of the game. And now 4th down. Here comes the Bears punter now. Standing just outside his own goal line. That's pulled in at the 32. Slips past him. Pretty good. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And control of the football, switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10.
Hey. 4 down.
The give to Taylor. And good penetration here. The pick up there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for Green Bay, it's a win here in their home opener as they move to 2-0. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for the Bears, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll get a home date next week against the Detroit Lions. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Packers are winners here as we say so long from Lambeau.